The following is a presentation of the Belly Up Sports Media Network. We have breaking news. Manscaped now sells beard products. That's right. They are once again revolutionizing men's grooming with the brand new Beard Hedger Pro Kit. From a beard trim to a fresh shave, the technology behind the Beard Hedger Pro Kit allows you to shape your signature beard look. Now you can finally use Manscaped products to make your drapes match your carpet by going to manscaped.com and using the promo code BELLYUPFANTASY for 20% off and free shipping. It's time to tame your mane. No one likes a weird beard, so say goodbye to all your stubble and trouble with Manscaped Pro Beard Kit. It all starts with the Beard Hedger. This thing is a juggernaut of fixing faces. First off, this cordless trimmer has a rotary wheel that gives you 20 hair cutting lengths, all with one guard, so no more messy drawers full of extra add-ons. That's right, face grooming doesn't need to be hard. Get 20 different beard lengths in just one guard. Plus, it's waterproof, so you can shave in the shower to avoid all that hair in the sink. The titanium-coated T-blade is tough on hair but smooth on your face, leading to single-stroke efficiency that brings satisfaction one stroke at a time. So make sure you get 20% off and free shipping when you go to manscaped.com by using the promo code BELLYUPFANTASY. Once again, that's 20% off and free shipping when you use the promo code BELLYUPFANTASY at manscaped.com.
All right, what is up, fam? We are back for another special edition of our Fighter Spotlight. I'm your host, Stephen Rochelle. To the right of me, the crazy man himself, Mr. Evil Eddie. And to the bottom is the man, the myth himself, our guest for this evening.
Big Yinz.
We'll be back on in about 2 hours to do our normal combat deviants, but UFC Middleweight. Josh, was that Fremd? Is that the pronunciation?
Fremd.
Fred.
Obviously. I wouldn't try too hard on a name like that, bro.
Huh?
So when I logged in on Instagram, right, I was looking you up. And originally I was like, oh, he added me as a friend. We're friends? I was like, oh, no, I keep getting confused with their last name because friends. I was just like, Jesus. But then your fighter name is the Big Yinz. So, like, what the hell is a Yinz? Is that like a new shaving product for Manscaped? What is that?
No, that's it's a name that was given to me since I moved out here to Denver. Yinz is kind of like y'all for anyone who's from the South. Coming from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, instead of saying what are y'all doing? Hey, what are Yinz doing? Just something that it's our dialect in the East Coast.
So it's almost like, you know, where's Daniel Cormier from? Where all
Louisiana.
Yeah, so like instead of Cormier, it's Cormier, and they have like their own dialect. Over here by New York, we just say yo or sup or hi, you know?
Yeah.
That's crazy. First thing I thought was the yin yang twins put together. Like the Big Yinz. Like, just like, oh, all right, man.
You could have Josh rapping over here or something. What's up, Eddie?
Hey, you never know what will come on Combat Deviants, man. Yeah, I've had some crazy interviews. You know who is rapping, and it's not a Gracie this time or Frank Mir. Sam Hoger. Sam Hoger.
Oh, yeah, he is
one of Ultimate Fighter. Are you a fan of Ultimate Fighter?
Tough. Yeah, I'm a pretty big fan. I grew up watching it.
I mean, also affiliation with it, right?
Yeah, a little bit. But yeah, I think it's a dope show. I got offered to do it a couple years back, but decided to take a LFA title fight instead. But I think that, you know, keep it going strong.
I think that worked out well, right?
Nah, you know, it's all hindsight.
Well, I mean, you look at it now, like you see a lot of fighters who make it or don't make it. They don't really care for, I guess, that Ultimate Fighter contract where even if you were on the show and you didn't make it, or you're not even on the finale and don't fight, you're stuck for that 6 months after the show's done.
Yeah, the contract's all weird and whatnot, but
I mean, like, you get why the UFC has to protect themselves and things of that nature, but at the same time, you also want to be fighter friendly.
Yeah.
So I think we just had Helen Peralta on, and she's still on the fuck Disney platform. She's still not happy about how her season went and things of that nature. But everyone has different experiences when it comes to it. Obviously, are you excited about this upcoming season of Tough? We got McGregor and Chandler. It should be quite interesting.
Yeah, I think that's going to be a super fun season. You got two characters, honestly, Michael Chandler and Conor McGregor. I think that's going to be really entertaining TV.
Did you see Ultimate Fighter season 22 with Conor and Uriah on there? That was one of my favorites, man, because Conor, like, it built up the Jose Aldo fight, obviously leading up to all of it. It couldn't have been any better, right? But through the whole series, he just came out with all these one-liners that really helped the UFC and brought on so many new fans. So I don't mean to switch. We're going to come back to the Ultimate Fighter in this season, but there's a lot of new fans right now that don't even know who John Jones is. They barely know who Michael Chandler is and his Bellator career. You're getting a lot of new followers, a lot of new people tuning in, following you on Instagram, Twitter. You see it all. What kind of engagements are you seeing with the new generation here?
I mean, just like you said, it's just new people who aren't familiar with the sport, aren't familiar with the history of it. And that's a good thing. We're getting people who haven't really thought about fighting as a sport. They still think it's a little taboo and whatnot. But interactions are, man, you get crazy ones from these new people who don't really know what goes into it or don't know how it goes. It's all bullshit, but hey, it is what it is, and you just keep pushing.
You get any dick pics or anything sent?
No, thank God. I'm good on that.
I feel so bad for these girls. We've interviewed girls where it's just like, you don't even want to know what goes in.
They give their account offs to the other half, or a manager or something. They just don't want to deal with it. I don't blame them.
Yeah, we had one girl that said a guy was willing to pay her to change his diaper, like stuff like that. That's how far it goes. So it's like, are you even an MMA fan? How'd you even find me, man? But here's what me and Steve keep talking about back and forth. We have the Ultimate Fighter going on. You have the Contender Series going on. You have PFL trying out new ideas, doing the tournament, which is what made the UFC so exciting originally. Now for this upcoming event, they're having at home judging. I think Tim Kennedy's doing one. And they're coming up with all these new ideas. What's an idea you would like to see the UFC do? Would you like to see tournaments come back? I mean, they're trying the Ultimate Fighter again with Conor. They're getting the big name pay-per-views with John Jones, even though fans don't really even know who he is right now. What would you like to see in 2023 for the UFC?
Honestly, I like the way that the UFC is doing things. They're putting on the best fights with the best fighters against each other. I think that the tournament style is a great idea. You have Bellator doing the Grand Prix. You have PFL doing the tournament. And I think that's a great way of doing it. But also, the UFC, if ever would want to do that, I think I would be up for that. But I think they're doing a great job with how they're matching fights. It's not like boxing where you get a bunch of people who are padding their records. Like, if you're good, you're going to fight someone good.
That's what we were saying for BKFC, right, Steve? Like the Misfit fight, and you had a lot of those fights. Right now, ever since the big change, that's the one positive thing is the matchmaking. But the one negative thing that we're seeing, you can have an amazing fight, and the judges are swinging this way and that way. What kind of changes would you like to see? I know you've probably been asked this before, but you guys are the ones that are going to have to speak up. It's your career, and it takes a big pull when you're new to the UFC and you put in all this hard work, spend all this money, make all these sacrifices, and you think you won, and then you hear this. So what would you like to see changed with judging?
More education. I've seen what goes into the training for these judges, and I mean, it's hard to describe how to judge a fight because the 10-must system is more boxing related than anything. So it's really hard to describe aggressiveness or how to handle that. I would like to see a lot more ex-fighters getting into the judging and being able to sit ringside and call fights, because a lot of these judges who are doing it right now, they've never been in a fight. They don't know what it's like. They just see what they see on TV and what they learned in the books. But until you get a feel of it and for what it actually feels like and what it is, I think that we're always going to have problems.
And further to your point, Josh, you're sitting there saying educate them better. I think a lot of these referees, judges, etc., should have to go to an event with like some form of it doesn't have to be like the biggest star in the world. Maybe somebody was just big in that town. He made it to the UFC or Bellator or whatever, and have these guys just sit there and break this down. There was a fight happening, it was close back and forth. There's a point where the guy was dangerous. Be like, look right there. See how he was doing this and getting showing them things to look at to say when these guys are defending themselves, to let this fight go on, to let this happen for the referee side of thing. And the same goes with the judging, like sitting there having a guy go break this thing down after they go and look at this fight. It's just something that we need to do, I guess, a better job of, even though it shouldn't be us as fans or us as media members or you as fighters to go in to educate an athletic commission on how a fight should be judged.
Yeah, you're right. I think
but
that they also
this is the unfortunate place where we're at.
I think they also should have to, talk about it. I think referees and judges, just like officials in the NBA or NFL, they have to discuss the calls that they're made. They have to make reports. Like if an umpire throws out someone in baseball, he has to write a report after it, and you have to give reasons as to why. I think that an after-action report for certain fights would be, something that would be smart to do.
I mean, not to sit there and ex-judge why referee, whatever, just so we know what to do to better it moving forward. We're all human. We make mistakes. You guys understand it. I'd be like, I just don't want the mistake to be my fight, was kind of most of the sentiment, fighters would have. But at the same time, we need to know how to better it moving forward. We have to be proactive with it. Something you have to do something in place where something like that doesn't happen again, where we don't have to sit there and have this question, hey, what's going on with this? Why is this specific judge bad? Why is this specific referee bad? Do something to help them better themselves, hold them accountable, and have it moving forward. And if you have X amount of issues, they don't do it. You find someone else.
You said you got to watch what the judges do in training?
Like, they have a thing to go by. They have a guideline on what they're supposed to do. Like, you go to the process and you go to athletic commission, you file paperwork to go and be a referee, be a judge. They do have a some type of training program, but it's not anything where, like, when you get in some of these bad situations where you're going to have these guys get caught in a bad situation. They don't know what to do. They don't know this or that. They're not educated properly to where we are as media members, as fans, as fighters, even as coaches. Like, it's sometimes you feel bad on these guys as coaches going over talking to an athletic commission official, having a meltdown because their fighter got screwed because of someone didn't know what they were doing. Is there getting a paycheck for it?
Yeah,
that's the worst part about it, right?
You know what? Josh, man, check your phone. Did you get my $100 for the PayPal for this interview?
Oh man, here we go.
Oh man, yeah. I was actually waiting. I thought Yinz were gonna send that over a little bit.
Here. I'm gonna send it right now, Steve.
Oh man,
you're the one that started this, Steve.
Yeah, I mean, I did, but at the same time, it needed to be said, man. Like, I really don't like doing things that way. I really don't. But I asked. I seen he did an interview later in a couple weeks later, and I asked him on a post. And next thing I know, he's in my DM losing his mind.
Who?
Josh's opponent. Mr. Dumas.
All right. Well, it kind of blew up this week, Steve.
I just think his management responses was absolutely terrible, and they literally failed him on every front. Big ups to Josh to being hooked up with Iridium, because they at least know what they're doing.
Hey, I mean, look, it's a big thing anymore. People are asking for payment for interviews and everything, and it's kind of like tipping culture in America. Like, no matter where you go, everyone's going to flip that screen around to you, ask you for a tip, ask you for this. Hey, kudos to him for asking, because someone's going to pay that, right? You might not. I might not. I'm never going to ask for it, but someone out there will. And, you never know
But
unless
see,
you
that's on
ask.
the other side of things where I said like it kind of got off the rails because at the same time I do feel bad for a lot of you fighters because when you guys are breaking in, getting in, being your first handful of fights in, you're losing money. You're giving away money before you even get there. We just had another middleweight on who hasn't fought in 2 years. He pretty much told us his next fight is going to be paying off all the medical stuff that he literally just went through over the last 2 years. So I'm in this situation where I'm like, I don't want to bury the guy, but this is something we need to have a conversation about. Like, if you're going to go about things this way, this isn't how we go about things. And the other thing is his management could have indebted the whole thing. There would have been no post, no script, no nothing. If the management says, "Hey, tell him to email us, tell him to message us," you literally basically on the whole point of it made your athlete look bad on every level, from the interaction he allowed to happen between me and him when he knew he was going to shoot me down anyways, and then B, the after fact when he basically made his fighter look like a liar. Like how bad do you want to make your guy look here just to try to rub my nose in it? Oh, like I'm nobody. Okay, fine, I'm nobody. Then why are you responding to it? You're responding to it because it was an issue you guys all created. You had to do, I guess, the PR smoke fire to do what they did. I just, it's a bad look all the way around. Maybe I shouldn't have did it, but at the same time, he didn't need to have the reaction he did when I asked him if he charged these guys for an interview. Which, when I went and looked, they only have what I think like less than 400 YouTube subscribers. I mean, I can make this up there. I'm like, oh well, we have 700. What?
Yeah, but outside,
I'm not sitting here playing that game. But it's like he said, they're saying we do live in, I guess, in a tipping culture when we're talking OnlyFans, we're talking Patreon, we're talking. There's other levels to what the media is. But at the same time, like you don't want to, you're just sitting there saying like, well, my guys are going to get paid. Or are you going to do the same thing when they go when you guys do UFC press next week?
Nah, I don't get paid for that.
but that's the thing. Like I get now, if I was asking him to come on location and he's doing X, Y, and Z, you absolutely can ask me for anything because I'm asking you to leave the confines of what you're doing for your time, your energy, your effort. Yes. I expect someone to ask to charge me for that. But if we're just sitting here like this on our free time or whatever, yeah, I might not be what you call UFC credentials, but we've interviewed just about anyone and everyone over the last 5-6
years combined.
But I'm not sitting there. I don't want to sit there and name drop. I've talked to this NFL player that this. It's not about that. That's not how the media athlete thing works. And like he said, it is a changing culture, but at the same time, like we all know what I guess the line of professionalism. There's a way to go about things if you want to go about things that way. That just wasn't the way to do it.
Now, Josh, let me make a great point here. So I was talking to you about social media, right? And the people that comment. And when you comment back, you comment to this guy who's commenting on this photo and that photo. You see a couple engagements. Once you comment back, now you got a new fan. He's seeing inside of your life. It's one fan at a time as you come up. And when you're doing what we do, like this is a new show, right? I do another show that is a top 40 podcast. Steve has done another show for 12, 14, 15 years. We're trying to get together and build something up just like fighters do, right? And for us to reach out to new fighters and try to get personal with them, it's the most exciting part of this entire job is to meet you guys and to bring you guys in front of more people. What we have on YouTube is not what we have on iTunes. And it's more personal when somebody sees you fight, but then they see a podcast. They get to see you. They get to know who you are. They get to relate. How many podcasts do you think you've done at this point?
Leading up to this one or just overall in general?
Overall.
Yes, yeah.
Overall, a good bit.
A good bit, right?
Actually, yeah.
And how many fans has it helped over the years that help you grow? Just one fan at a time that just helps interact and they actually tune in because there's a lot of diehards that they follow and they know this fighter and that fighter, but they don't really care that much about the entire roster. When you start going on podcasts and you start interacting, it has a whole different element, a different vibe. This new generation is about this kind of an interaction, you know? So for us to be able to afford $100 interview, I can understand at certain points because we do know what you guys go through, but we're just trying to help one
you
another.
guys could at least let me hold a dub, right?
I'll send you some weed.
Hey, I'm in Denver, bro. I ain't got no worries on that.
Oh man. Yeah, they just legalized it here in Connecticut. Matter of fact, they have dispensaries open. My brother spent $90 on 2 gummies, 5 joints, and a vape pen. I said, bro, I would have given you that.
Taxes will get you.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's a big thing. And kind of relating the weed thing to doing these interviews, Elias Theodoro, even at his highest stage, was going on this podcast, that podcast, and having a message about changing the world of MMA, about smoking weed and not taking pain pills. And by him going out there and interacting on all these shows, he actually did make a difference. And that makes me really happy that Elias was able to do that and took the time to help fighters not get addicted to opiates.
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge part. You know, as soon as Pittsburgh legalizes it completely, I might move home. But it's a huge help. You know,
we just getting it a little bit nicer over here in Philly too. So I mean, I feel you on that one. It's so weird how you can be live in the same damn state. How do you live in the same damn state and you can't get on the same page? I can get it in Philadelphia, but Josh is in Pittsburgh and he can't get it.
How far away are you? Philly? What do you mean? He's in Pittsburgh?
Yeah,
but how far are you?
I'm literally as far as out from Philadelphia as you can get without still being in Philly. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Josh, you there?
Yeah, I'm here, bud. Sorry about that.
All right. Well,
I had to move some things around.
Why would you move out of your luxury home that Eddie Holmes got you?
Man, I wanted to move and get somewhere where I wasn't the big fish in the pond, you know? I needed to get somewhere where there was a lot more talent, a lot more skill, people who know people, and get with a good camp with a bunch of good fighters. And I found that it was between Florida or Denver, and I've trained down in Florida a lot. But came out to Denver for a week, fell in love with it. I really don't know if I'll see myself leaving this place.
Now, I got to ask something about that. I just had Skylar Maverick on last night, and she said one of the biggest things that she loved when she got to Denver was the altitude. She just couldn't wait for the benefits of being in Colorado. Are you going to be one of those guys that literally stay in camp literally to like the day before you're supposed to be there and then fly out?
Yeah, I mean, I've picked up my entire life and I moved it out here to Colorado. So I go home every once in a while, you know, see family, hang out with friends. But yeah, I'm full time out here in Denver, and the altitude's amazing. Definitely benefits you when you go down to sea level or somewhere else, and I take full advantage of that.
So, man, let me ask you that. What is the dark side that you use? You seem like such a nice, clean-cut guy. I go on your Instagram. There's like messages and photos like, thank grandma, which we all love our grandmas, right? But then I look on some posts, it's like the dark side. What's up with that?
Yeah, man. I mean, you don't get in this sport if you're not a little demented, if you don't have a little bit of a dark side to you. I might look, you know, handsome as hell, and I might look like I'm a frat boy, but I'm the furthest thing from there. You know, I grew up pretty dark. I grew up pretty broke all the time, and you know, the crews I used to hang around with, the stuff I used to do. Thank God I'm not doing it anymore, because I wouldn't be here if I were.
Yeah, we were talking to Roberto Duran Jr. about that and how he changed his life living in New York and how easy it is to get involved in that stuff and how hard it is. Like right now, I'm trying to move out of the third most dangerous city in America, and I got 12 weeks to do it. So I'm putting in all these hours, and it's so easy to get involved with stuff like that. But now you're out, but you're still embracing it, Josh. You're still embracing the dark side. It still lives within you. So what really clicks that kind of personality on? What do you do backstage? Is there music? Like, how do you get in the zone for that?
Ah, music, memories, and goals, pretty much. I've had this goal since I was 10 years old, 12 years old. Uh, I've
I
always
saw
wanted to
that
play.
curly hair football photo of you when you were little, man.
Yeah,
That senior year
yeah.
football, man. But what
I was,
about this Dumas fight is going to really fire you up?
I mean, dude, I'm a realist. I'm not gonna come out here and front on anyone. Like, you know what it is. I'm 0-2 right now in the UFC. What more fire do I need than to go out here and make a statement? Because if I don't, I'm not in the UFC anymore. So like, there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Like, I don't need any extra motivation.
Yeah. Backstage, you're going to have to really try to talk to your coaches to get that out of your mind and come relax, because like, is that something that you guys work on if that's in the back of your mind? Because you might get a little anxious in there and not listen to the coaches. Like how do they adjust you while you're getting ready to visit that dark side and keep you on the hit?
My coaches are awesome. They know me and they know how I work. They know how I operate, and there is no pressure going into this one. There is no fear of the result, if you will. I did that my last fight. I put way too much pressure on myself. I just way too much. So this one, I'm reverting back to who I was a year ago. I never thought about getting in a cage, and I never thought, in a sense, when I got to the UFC is when I finally first started like, oh man, this is kind of something. It's a little bit of
Yeah.
pressure, but before that, I just went in and scrapped, dude. I just went in and threw hands, and that's all I'm going out to do this time.
I'm glad that you said that, because I really hope you realize that you are 1 in a million. When they say, oh, it's 1 in a million to make it to the UFC, bro, you are one of those 1 in a million. You are there right now, embracing it, embracing every second. What was it like? I got two more questions for you. What was it like when you first made that walkout and you smell, chicken and beer and what was that really like for you?
Oh, dude, it was everything I ever dreamed of. My very first fight in the UFC was in front of a sold out crowd on a pay-per-view card down in Jacksonville. And I dreamt of that moment for years. And it was awesome to finally get to, get that. But that's all nice and dandy and everything. But the one feeling I haven't got to feel yet is a win in the UFC and the walkout after a win. So that's what I'm most looking forward to.
What is it about this upcoming opponent that you actually think you have an advantage over? Or what do you admire about your upcoming opponent with his traits as a fighter?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not even thinking about what he does well, what he does that, and the other. It's more about me and myself. I need to
Yeah.
go out there and, show everyone who I am. But,
Yeah.
give props to where props are due. He's done a very good job building himself up, getting himself to this point. We were almost matched up for my Dana White contender. No, my Dana White looking for a fight in Missouri, but that fell through because he had an opportunity. Props to him. And I mean, he looks like a fun dude. Looks like someone that I could definitely smoke a little weed with. But we
Yeah,
gotta
I'll agree with that. I'll definitely agree
we
with that. He definitely
we
has
gotta
that look of
fight.
somebody I would definitely want to go have a beer with, whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, he looks like a chill dude. It is what it is. But we'll go out and we'll fight and we'll handle it afterwards.
Now he was talking about, obviously, you know what's online here. This is the one that makes it or breaks it for you right now. You don't really have to get much up to get this. Now you're sitting there saying you have to show everyone. What is something you want to show your fans, the UFC, etc. In this coming fight on the 11th?
Go back and look at my highlights before I got to the UFC. That's what I'm trying to show at this level.
I definitely hope we see it, just for the sake of the fight in general, just because It looks like it is going to be an exciting matchup.
Yeah.
I definitely feel like, you know,
I got $100 on my boy right here. I got
$100 around. That's never going to leave me alone anytime I talk about it anymore.
Yeah, man, we really can't wait for it. I got one more for you here. How's your dog doing, bro? You get to bring him with you anywhere? I see him on your Instagram.
Oh, I got 2 dogs. My pit bull Odin and my German Shepherd Riker. Yeah, I take those boys everywhere.
It's so crazy, bro. Everyone
I got
has
my dog sitting right here. He's just giving me the look like, can I come over here now? What's going on, guys?
Yeah, everyone has these big dogs now, but for fighters, like they're getting to bring them to the UFC for interviews and stuff like that, and it really helps with anxiety and stuff. But you got 2 of them, bro, and you're a fighter. That's a lot, man. I give you a lot of credit, and we really wish you nothing but the best for this upcoming fight, man.
Appreciate that, dude. Appreciate that. Yeah, I could never imagine taking my dogs anywhere near the UFC. My Pitty is not, the most friendliest with other people. My German Shepherd's an absolute goober of a dog. He loves anyone, and I got my girl. She's in the Air Force, so like it's a pretty badass crew we got over here.
You gotta get yourself a pet rat, bro, and bring him on your shoulder everywhere you go. That's what you got. That's what I do, at least.
Yo, Steven, that dog is sick, dude.
Yo, he's we got him from this girl. We just came across him online. Like her and her boyfriend were breaking up. They got the dog, and it was just she was wound up taking care of him. He was off running around, wound up cheating on her. We had to going over because like we had to go check him out because he wasn't good with men. So I go over, he bowls me over like I'm a bowling pin, like licking my face, like all crazy. I'm like,
you though.
This freaking goofball. But we call him Moose because he acts like he's like this little like 5-pound Chihuahua when he's like 110-pound pit bull, and he's just, as you see, just jumping right over here on my chest, like, hey, what's up, dude? He thinks he's a lap dog. I love him to death, but oh my god, he's a moose. That's why we call him. His real name is Zeus. We named him Zeus, but Zeus and Moose is kind of rhyming, and I literally that's how I call him. I'm like, "What's up, Moose? Get over here, dude."
All right. What we like to do at this point in the interview is we hand the imaginary microphone over to you. If you have any shout outs, sponsors, anything at all, the floor is now all yours.
Yeah, I appreciate it because I got to get bouncing. But hey, shout out to you boys. Hey, thanks for bringing me on, getting me this exposure. Thanks for the hundo. Shout out to Eddie Holmes, always helping me out from Pittsburgh. Best custom home builders out there. You guys, you're in for a treat. March 11th, I promise you that.
Bring the fireworks, brother. I want to see fight of the night on that one.
Let's go.
All right, Josh. Really appreciate the time, my friend. Best of skill in the fight. Hopefully we can get you back on here again. Have some fun. Obviously, maybe in between fights, so it's not so close and so crazy. We don't have to, rush on, rush off, and have a little bit more fun. All right, my friend.
Feel that, dude. Appreciate it.
All right, man. Best of skill, man. We'll be in touch.
Have a good one.
All right, everyone. That was Mr.
Josh Fremd.
Josh Fremd. That was fun, man. I'm definitely looking forward to this fight. Like I said, regardless of the stuff with me and his opponent or not, like I'm not obviously like it's like, listen, dude, we got lucky, got the opportunity to go get his opponent after all the malarkey that went on. Wished them both the best of skill. Like I said, my only issue is just how everything was handled. We could drill it back over again. Whatever. If the Kawas want to come and have a conversation, always more than welcome to open the air. Ways up to you guys when you guys actually want to put your heads on straight and actually act like a real management company, media company, whatever you guys are.
Yeah, man.
Other than that, dude, go get him, Josh. Do your thing.
Just for that, I'm gonna put 100 on Josh.
Love his energy, love the type of person he was, and I'm dead serious when I agree with that. Like where Cedric looks like a guy that I'd smoke a L with, have a beer with, have a shot with, but things happen the way they happen. People
I
handle
know.
things poorly. Some people just need to sit there and admit
How
that they
funny
handle
was it though last week when we were doing the interview and our and our guest was like, "Oh man, did you guys see that tweet about the fight?" I was like, "Bro, that was Steve, bro." That was Steve.
Oh
But
man,
yeah, we have
that $100 line is never gonna leave it. It's never gonna leave it.
I wish we could send Josh like a pair of $100 Viper shorts for him to walk out to or some shit in the octagon. That would be fucking hilarious.
Yeah, but you know how the UFC works. That don't work no more. But
yeah, as long as it's not a
again, fun one with Josh. Actually, we'll be back here. Hour and a half.
I got a lot of great questions for it too. So
yeah,
you
we're gonna have
don't
some
want to
fun.
miss.
Obviously, we got to get into some John Jones tonight. He is back. The King is back. We're gonna be talking with Tyler Randall and Ryan Dalton.
Big fan of
Ryan's
the
gonna be
show, I see.
fighting on the celebrity boxing card March 11th, so that should be fun. Tyler Randall is fighting March 17th on the BKFC 38 event. Then that's with our me and Eddie's good friend, Mr. Daniel Strauss is dipping his hat into BKFC.
Wow.
And he's going to be taking on Mr. Nguyen. It should be a fun one, man.
Yeah, I can't wait. Well, we'll see you guys in just a little bit here.
Yeah, we'll see you guys in a little bit. Peace out. We'll be back hour and a half, maybe.